Hello, welcome to Bluejay Chat. I'm your host, Nathan Meyer. Alongside me, as always, Dr. John Sample. John, not only do we got a new person on the show here, we got a new person here in the district.
Yes, we do, and I'm pleased to announce as my guest our HR Director, Eddie Then. Eddie just started a few weeks ago, really. It seems like he's been here for a long time because there's a lot of good things going on, and with him as our Director of Human Resources, we're in a really, really good place.
All right. Eddie, thanks for joining us here, and thanks for coming to Merrill. It's a great district to be in.
Thanks for having me. It's been a lot of nice induction, a lot of really nice folks. People have been very helpful, trying to get me going in the right direction and find all the things in Google I need to find. So it's been very good.
Excellent. Well, John, we always start with our recognitions, and there's always a good number of them.
There's always a good number, and we had quite a few students this time. Our middle school social norms youth group was recognized for their youth tobacco prevention initiatives, and so specifically with the e-cigarette epidemic and vaping and all that stuff. And so the following students were recognized at the middle school, and that's Gabe Krieger, Spencer Smith, Haley Nowak, Hannah Wendt, Hannah Bouchard, Blake Hagan, Parker Welch, Bridger Lemon, and Michaela Geiger were recognized. Great work that they're doing with the Lincoln County Health Department to try to prevent e-cigarette and vaping and all of those things, because that's just a huge, huge problem right now, and it's a shame that so many students are taking that up. We also recognized Michael Casper and Hunter Wallace as our 2019 Academic All-Star honorees. They were recognized by the Golf Coaches Association of Wisconsin, and so that's awesome. Hunter and Michael both very well deserving. They had to have a cumulative GPA of at least 3.25, participate in at least 75% of their team's varsity matches, which they both did, and be a sophomore, junior, or senior. And both of these student athletes are very young and have had a lot of success this past year. We've already talked a little bit about Hunter and Michael both this year. And then also Rindell Printing. They've been extremely beneficial for the Prairie River Middle School yearbook. And so we wanted to recognize all of Rindell Printing for working as a partner with Merrill Area Public Schools.
Awesome. And that's just kind of the beginning of what's to come with this next school year. We've got a lot of returning teachers, but we also got a lot of new incoming staff that are just going to help make this place so much better.
Yes, we do. We've got a lot of new hires. We had a lot of retirees, a few resignations. People leave for various reasons, and it's been the right reasons primarily. When a spouse gets transferred to another state or another location, and if one of the couple is a teaching employee of ours or a staff member of ours, they're going to have to go too. So I know that Eddie's been busy. We do have a few key personnel though that we've hired and a couple of positions that we filled, correct?
Yep. Yes, we have two new associate principals. We've got one at Kate Goodrich, and that was just approved last Thursday, which is
with Alex Mashik.
Alex Mashik, thank you. And a lot of these folks were hired kind of as Cindy was going and I was coming in, so there is quite a list. The other AP at the high school is
Megan Kautzer.
Megan Kautzer. And
Yep.
what will happen to help me get my head wrapped around some of these things is at the August board meeting, apparently historically we've presented and kind of done some data on all the coming and the going and put some of that together and shared that info with the board, so we'll be getting that ready in the next couple weeks here. So,
you know, it's been extremely helpful too. Can you imagine coming in as the Director of Human Resources? You're in charge of humans that you've never met before, and we've got 365 new employees here, so I know Eddie's doing a great job of getting to know people, and his job would have been so much more difficult 5 or 6 years ago without our new website. Now he can pull up our webpage, he can go into Kate Goodrich or the high school, and now we've got faces to associate with those names. Otherwise, all you're looking at is names of personnel. So very excited about our two AP hires. Megan comes in with a tremendous amount of knowledge, as does Alex. So we're very excited to see what they're going to be able to do with those buildings, the high school and Kate Goodrich.
Right, and both are needed because they're two of our bigger schools in this area. Obviously the high school, it's the only high school we have, but yep. Kate Goodrich is one of our biggest elementary schools, and they're going to need that help there.
Sure, and when you look at just the number of staff that they have to evaluate, with our new evaluation system, you know, it takes 2, 3, 4 hours per evaluation throughout the year, and those numbers were getting up high. I know that Glenda Ojensky, our former Kate Goodrich principal, her numbers were as high as both Brad Potter's and Shannon Murray's. And so now what we're doing is we've got additional administrative support so that our building principals can be exactly what a building principal's position was designed to be, and that's to be the head of instruction. They are really our instructional leaders. They're not an assistant dean or the dean of students, and that's primarily what was bogging them down. And so we're really looking forward to increasing our student achievement data, and I think at the end of this year, and especially at the end of 2 or 3 years, when we see what kind of impact these positions are going to have, it's going to be very favorable for our kids.
Right. I mean, the amount of things that our staff does for these kids is absolutely incredible, and we've always been good at hiring great people.
Yeah.
And with these 2 positions, that will definitely help.
And we like to say, welcome to the Bluejay nest.
I don't want to forget either. The principal at Kate Goodrich is new as well. Amy Stutstream is a new hire, and her first day was my first day. So
That's right.
She'll be the instructional leader at that building.
Yep.
Right.
Thank you. She's the leader of the building, and we're unofficially calling it the A team right now, with Amy and Alex being at Kate Goodrich, and so we've got the A team in place. Real excited to, like I say, to see what they can do. Amy, I don't think, has taken even a weekend off since she started, and so very, very busy, hit the ground running. It's going to be a great year.
Yep. And we also hired a full-time physical therapist, from what I understand, too, to help our student athletes.
We did, and not so much our student athletes, but our students with IEPs. If they have an IEP that says that they need some type of fine motor or gross motor skills, that's what that physical therapist will be able to provide. We went all of last year, because that position is so hard to find. Most physical therapists go in the hospital setting, and you'll find that they're making a little bit more money. Of course, they're working year-round, and it takes a special person to come into the school setting to be able to apply those skills. So we did hire a full-time physical therapist. We will only need them half-time. We made a deal with a neighboring school district that they will take 50% of this person's workload, and so we're going to be splitting this physical therapist. It gets into some tricky little details that, what about those students that didn't get physical therapy services last year, even though their IEP said that they require them? We did the best we could. We couldn't fill the position, so this person will come in and provide compensatory services until we get those kids caught up to where they would have been had they had physical therapy all along. So Karen Baker, our Director of Special Ed and Pupil Services, is extremely happy to have a physical therapist now. So the entire special ed department is complete.
Right.
You guys are very lucky to have one as well. Like Dr. Sample said, every district I've ever been in always has to contract with the CISA to get one, because they're so far and few between.
Yeah,
So
yeah, they're very scarce.
Right. And just to have one, is absolutely incredible to help these students, because they're great. You know, we say they're special education, but they have great minds too, like every other student. They just have a few other needs that we need to help fulfill with them.
Sure, and whether it be speech and language or physical therapy or occupational therapy, those are all positions that are in very high demand right now. So I'm very pleased to say that we've got a full crew. Our students will benefit, and that's one of the things that we're focusing on too this year. In fact, it's going to be included in our district scorecard. That's what we use to measure our success, is student and staff wellness. And I need to emphasize too, that's also staff wellness. You know, we all come from different backgrounds. We're all coming together for one purpose, and that's our students. And so we want to make sure that our students' needs are being met as well as our staff's needs.
So this year is just all about the staff and the students, huh?
Yeah, it is. And it's not the warm fuzzy that people would think, and it's not having picnics once a month and social activities, as much as it's really doing the work, holding yourself accountable. If you need assistance, let us know. That's what we're here to provide. Everybody on our administrative leadership team takes great pride in becoming servant leaders, and so we do whatever we can to help our staff because they help our students. And the same with our students. We want to meet all of their needs. We can't use poverty as an excuse anymore. You know, we're outscored by some districts in our area when it comes to student achievement. And now we've got the team that's going to be able to elevate that. Everybody has poverty. Everybody's dealing with certain issues. No longer is an excuse, but we're going to meet the needs, hold our students accountable, hold our staff accountable, and take the district to a higher level.
Awesome. So Eddie, I got a few questions specifically just for you. Some that I think our viewers would like to know. A, how long have you been working with HR, all that type of stuff, and what's kind of your past here, so that way people can kind of get to know you here on this show?
I'll give you a quick rundown. I was a former high school math teacher for about 7 years. Spent time in Watertown and in West Allis, just outside of Milwaukee. I took a position there to leave there about 4.5 years ago to go to Crandon. And I was their business manager, and I did a lot of HR work while I was there. Everything from payroll to FMLA to contracts and all kinds of things around that side of the wheelhouse. And had a really good experience, learned a lot of things. So that is what I'm bringing to the table. One of the things that I like most about schools and that I've come to appreciate actually is just because when I was a teacher, I definitely would have been one of those teachers who never even looked at their paycheck, just kept goes to the grindstone, worked for kids every day, and assumed the rest of the things just magically happened in the behind the scenes. And come to find out, there's tons of things that go behind the scenes that we do. I don't. When I say we, it doesn't matter if you're on the leadership team, if you're a secretary in a building, custodians, you name it. They're doing tons of things behind the scenes to make a smooth day for students, trying to alleviate any other concerns or challenges that they may have. I don't care if it's getting them breakfast in the morning or making sure they got a safe bus ride home. Those are all parts of the school day, and HR gets to be part of all that. So I'm looking forward to it.
And how are you liking Merrill so far?
Very good. Like I said, everybody's been very good to me, and I have to say, I think I've already been to the Mexican restaurant, Los Mezcales, at least 4 times, I think. So
We broke them in properly.
Yes. So.
Got some of the Merrill fine dining experience, huh?
And I love Mexican food anyways, and yes, I'm sure at some point I'll be making up one of the homemade taco dips I made. So.
It's holding out on us. I have not had that yet.
It's got to be the right time,
Yeah,
Right.
sure.
John, you got a question for your guests all the time.
I usually do, and I don't like to put our rookies on the spot. I mean, he's only been here a few weeks. He's doing monumental things already. One thing that should be mentioned though is our finance director Brian Dasher already had a professional relationship with Eddie, and so he knows what his strengths are, and it's nice to have somebody else that understands business and finance, because there was a time not too long ago where Mr. Dasher had to be gone for an extended period of time. That comes back on the superintendent, and that is not my area of strength, although it's getting much stronger, so it's super nice to have somebody who understands finances and all of that. Eddie, we do talk about relationships matter. I know that you got a beautiful wife and 2 outstanding daughters. You see the pictures. I know your love of Harley Davidson, and you even ride your motorcycle to work. Anything else that we may not know about you yet in the short time that you've been here?
We'll leave it there for now, because some of those things, they'll just have to evolve as we go. But I do believe in relationships, to go from the quote-unquote more of the number crunching side of it to the people side of it. I believe that there's a huge opportunity there that we have as districts, not just in Merrill, but across the state, to link what we're doing with people, dollars, and students to try and get the most out of the whole system, so that we ultimately turn out a really good product. So I'm looking forward to it, and like I said, it's been really good so far.
Yeah, great. And it's it has only been a few short weeks, which is hard to imagine, but you can even understand from where Eddie's coming from and his background how well he fits into this team, because we really do focus around servant leadership, doing everything we possibly can for our students.
Right. And just the amount of things that go into making a relationship work too is just incredible, and for the fact that it's already been as successful as it has in the short amount of time is absolutely incredible, and I think that's just going to grow and spread throughout this whole district. So
Yes,
glad to see you on board with us.
Thank you.
And we are dressed this way. Normally I'm wearing a tie or something close, but we have the opportunity to go down to Milwaukee to the Studer Education Conference. There's administrators there from about 32 different states. So it's a nationwide Studer Education partnership, but we're going to be able to go down to Milwaukee right in our own backyard, kind of a homecoming week for West Dallas, if you've worked there. And we get to present, and we're going to present our culture playbook and how we're going to roll that out to our staff. We're pretty deeply embedded as an administrative team into the Tim and Brian Kite, the Focus 3 mindset of event plus response equals outcome. And so that's one of the ways that we hold our staff and our students accountable when it comes to their responsibility in building a positive culture and climate. So very pleased that we were invited to present. We've got that conference, we'll be leaving here within a couple of hours, and that conference is a Tuesday, Wednesday, and we get to present on Wednesday then to other districts outside of the state. So very, very fortunate to be able to have that opportunity.
Awesome. We'll look forward to hearing about that at the next Bluejay Chat. We're back on a regular schedule next month, right?
I'm hoping so. This has been a very, very busy summer, as you can imagine. Glenda Ojensky being new to curriculum and instruction in central office. Of course, she's not a stranger to us since she was the Kate Goodrich principal. Eddie coming in, and he's done so many amazing things already. So, and these conferences also allow us time to build those relationships. And Studer is very important to us in our district scorecard. That's where we get all of our surveys, our parent survey, our employee engagement survey, district services survey. And so there's a lot of work coming up. In fact, we're going to meet with the entire administrative leadership team on August 8th and 9th, which is next week already. So
August is already next week.
It's hard to believe. It really is hard to believe. But then we'll get on the correct schedule, I think, in August.
Right. Well, and with you just got to think, summer was only about 2 months this year just because of all those snow days that you sang for us.
Yeah.
And winter's coming again, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll just enjoy the summer, though.
We'll enjoy what we can out of it. All right. Anything else, John, we can think of?
I can't think of anything else. No, I think we've covered it.
The school year's coming up. Can you believe it?
It is coming up. They're coming whether we like it or not, and we're going to welcome them with open arms. Believe it or not, we actually miss our teachers and our staff and our students. Everybody breathes a sigh of relief when summer starts, but we're at that point now where we're looking forward to everybody getting back.
I'm getting antsy again. I like seeing the teacher in here every once in a while.
Yeah. But the custodians and the maintenance crew, they need some time still.
Oh yeah, we still there's still a lot of work to do across the board here this summer in order to get ready for the kids, and that includes for us here at Merrill Productions. So,
yes, absolutely.
Maybe next time you'll see some of the new changes that are coming through the woodwork when you come in here. So
I'm excited.
Little cliffhanger.
This is going to be the best school year yet. I know I've said that every year, and it's held true. We've continued to improve, and if you look back where we've been, even in the last 3 years, where we've come from, lots of great things going on in Merrill.
I'd like to just think for our show, it keeps improving every time. 3 years almost.
Yeah, it's gotten so much better. We'll have some cooking challenges coming up. I want to continue my undefeated streak so far with the cooking challenges. Yeah, I'm
Maybe Eddie will have to go after your championship
belt. I would imagine that Eddie's with his taco dip. I would imagine Eddie's culinary experiences are going to lend itself well to your program.
All right. Anything that you want to add, Eddie, before we
got to stop. You're making me hungry, and we're ready. We're ready for a good conference.
La Taqueria too in about 2 hours.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll let these guys go. For Dr. John Sample, for Eddie Than, I'm Nathan Meyer. Thanks for joining Bluejay Chat. Have a good rest of your July.